Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Campus Care Presents Ed Talks. Ed Talks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints on topics related to education and society. Our topic for the day is Teachers Training NEP 2020 highlights the need for effective training and professional development for educators. And for the same, we have our moderator, Dr. Kajal Ma'am, Director of United International School, GEMS, Pune. Very welcome, ma'am. How are you?
I am fine. Good evening to one and all. And I'm really looking forward to moderate this prestigious panelist today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out your time for us. Now, moving on, the panelists, we have our first speaker, Dr. Vijay Kumar Jha, Principal of Mount Litera Z School, Motihari, Bihar. Very welcome, Vijay sir.
A grand namaste to you all the panelists and all the viewers on the screen.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Dr. Archana ma'am, founder and president of EVA Group of Schools and principal director of Delhi Board Public School, Nehru. Very welcome, Archana ma'am. How are you?
Good evening. Thank you so much for inviting this panel.
Thank you, Archana ma'am. Then we have Dr. Kavita Karun ma'am, principal of Smita Patil Public School, Maharashtra. Welcome, Kavita ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity and waiting to listen from others.
Thank you, ma'am. Then we have then we have Mr. Renju sir, principal of New Vision Public School, Maharashtra. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Mr. Deepak Matthew, sir. I guess he'll be joining us in a few minutes.
He's there.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have Dr. Manisha Sahani, ma'am, director and principal of DVPS, Zirakpur, Punjab.
It's Delhi World Public School, Punjab. Good evening, everyone. A pleasure to be here with all of the esteemed panelists. Looking forward to a fruitful discussion.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Deepak, sir, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
Deepak Matthews, sir. Sorry, Deepak,
No,
sir.
Deepak Matthew, not ma'am. This is a Deepak Jha.
Sir, I was asking, actually, Deepak sir has just joined us, so
we have two Deepak, sir.
Okay. Sorry, sir. Next, we have Dr. Prashant, sir, principal of Sri Bankat Lal Lahoti English School, Latur, Maharashtra. Welcome, Prashant, sir.
You have to unmute.
Good evening to one and all, the panelist members and all the viewers. We'll discuss today's the session of NEP 2022.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, we have Dr. Biju, sir, principal of Dev International School, Indore. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. And thank you so much for giving me a chance to be a part of this great gathering. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking out your time. Next, we have Mr. Deepak Kumar Jha, principal of Twinkling Star School, Maharashtra. Welcome, Deepak, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us a great opportunity to be a part of your today's discussions. So thank you so much for all the viewers and all the teams. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And we have with us Mr. Anurag Sharma, sir, principal of Vallabh Ashram, MGM Amin, and VN Savani School, Gujarat. Welcome, Anurag, sir.
Thank you so much, Kajal ma'am. It's an honor to be a part of such an empaneled or intelligent panel, and I'm sure that there will be a lot of learning today when we listen to all the views of all the esteemed members. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Kajal ma'am, over to you now.
Thank you, Mega Miss. And yes, good evening, one and all, and welcome once again. And yes, today's topic is very interesting. We've already started implementing NEP, right? So, teacher training, new education policy 2020, it highlights the need for effective training And also, it focuses on how to make our schools ready for it. What are we doing towards it? And my dear leaders, my dear principals, over here, before we start our panel discussion, I would love to know more of personal anecdotes, what exactly you are doing in your school. It will be a great opportunity for all of us to take a deep dive and actually do a virtual tour and see how we are getting NEP ready. So to start with, I have my opening batsman over here, Vijay sir, and the question is, what specific training programs are outlined in NEP 2020 to enhance the skills and knowledge of teachers? So what exactly is happening in your school, sir? Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Kajal, for embellishing my presence here with the adjective opening batsman like that. So, very first, we shall have to acknowledge the objective of the new education policy. The objective of the new education policy is to bring about certain changes in the students, means target group, and those changes are in form of digital literacy, capacity of problem solving, communication, critical thinking, creativity, health and fitness, social responsibility, ethics, scientific temper, collaboration, and blah blah. Now, here comes a question. The pioneers who are supposed to bring about those changes among the students, they should also be trained properly by empowered agencies. And for that, there is national professional standard for teachers. A criteria has been set, and a provision of continuous professional development, wherein teachers are imparted necessary professional training in terms of as we see in CBSE schools, Sahodaya complex, and by the CBSE also. And apart from that, there are various other agencies, even NCTE, that is also imparting training to the teachers off and on. So, and apart from that, one thing which is supposed to be done under the NEP is that teachers audit of performance and teachers appraisal, on the basis of which certain variables can be collected and necessary training programs can be designed, because you training program cannot become stagnant. Training programs are also supposed to be transient with the passage of time, in proportion to the growing needs of the students and of the schools. And apart from that, one more thing is that teachers are supposed to be empowered, wherein teachers themselves can decide what to teach, how to teach. That kind of liberty is supposed to be given to the teachers. So when the teachers are the people and they are to judge what to teach and how to teach, they are the curriculum deciders. In that situation, their capabilities will be in requirement to be enhanced in a greater quantum. And for that, in CPD, we already have 50 hours training provision in an academic session. But apart from that, there are so many other pedagogic approaches and other platforms. Besides CBP, capacity building programs, there is a provision of 4-year integrated B.Ed that is supposed to be done with in order to cater with the need of the growing challenges ahead, and certain self-paced tutorial modules on electronic platform, on web platform, that is also supposed to be done. And as we see those modules on Diksha, and one is Nishtha, National Initiative for School Heads and teachers holistic advancement. That is Nishtha. And apart from that, we have Swayam platform also. So these are the platforms. They include elementary level of teachers training, secondary level of teachers training, and apart from that, uh, teachers are also supposed to be trained for the children with special needs and foundational literacy, numeracy, multi-level teaching and evaluation. They are also supposed to be trained regarding the process of assessment, evaluation and examination, and teaching children with disabilities. And apart from that, to explore the highly gifted talented students and how to teach them. There should be a very different and unique kind of teaching for those children, and for them there should be a very I think a super excellent teachers and super in fact diligent teachers. So those diligence and industrious and enthusiastic teachers and imaginative teachers full of imaginative skills, they will become able to meet the need of those children who have a special talent. So these are the basic things which are supposed to be covered in NEP in terms of imparting training to the teachers. Over to you, Madam Kajal.
Thank you so much for bringing, or rather, I should say, enthusiastic insights and covering almost a lot of things. What is to be done for teacher training? May it be 50 hours of training, looking at Diksha, Nishtha, Swayam. You have got quite a lot through your 5 minutes insights. Thank you so much. And this brings a way for our second speaker, that is Archana ma'am. And ma'am, the question for you is, how will new education policy 2020 address the issue of continuous professional development for teachers to keep up with evolving educational practices, as rightly said by Vijay sir, that it has to be very, very dynamic and we have to keep on upgrading. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for, first of all, thank you so much for, asking me to be a part of this, panel and contributing my views about this NEP. Now, when we talk about CPD, it's continuous professional development. As Sir said rightly, 50 hours, active participation of the teachers should be there, where, they are actively participating in that. Practically, academically, they should be developed. With the new technology, yes, because, we know that, yes, today's generation is the 21st century generation. They are much more fast than us. They have all chat GPT, AI with them. Okay. So if they are empowered with so much of technology, I think to teach them, our teachers also should have some skills which they may have, but they have to redevelop or reskill themselves or upskill themselves, so that, forgetting their age and educational level, but they have to upgrade themselves. That is one. And that is why they say that at least 50 hours of active participation of teachers, principals should be there for CPD. But when we are talking about 50 hours, I mean, suddenly we think about 50 hours we have to give for this training. But if I give you an example about, good educational, policies of countries, different countries, Japan spends at least 50% of their time for CPD. South Korea has, I think, 90 hours. Singapore has 100 hours. So, understanding the Indian context also, I think the NEP has decided 50 hours of training for our teachers. Now, how exactly is this training going to happen? I think we are blessed with Corona. Somewhere we say we have side effects also of that. So we are blessed that NEP has made a blended mode, with online and offline training of teachers. So those teachers where, they can find time with their, 80% of the time they're spending in classroom. So after that, if they're finding time according to their time arrangements, according to their need, which is again called as a cafeteria approach, they choose their trainings, and which is online, and where we have to develop their skills. Is if it is a practical approach which we have to go for it, then they have to go for a physical training. And these trainings, especially we talk about in rural areas, it's a little difficult part because online they can really manage, but offline it's a little difficult. So NEP has appointed a lot of trainers where they can go to those areas, ask the teachers to upgrade, so that we are, updated technologically, academically, okay, and we are able to build up the career of the future. So that is where they are talking about, e-portfolio also has come up, and where they are talking about career management progression, CMP. Okay, so NEP talks about that also. It talks about NPST also, which is National Professional Standards for Teachers, which takes care about after your training, where, when you spend 50 hours, you start contributing, you start developing on your own some kind of skills where you're trying to pass on to your students for the next generation, where they are already, with AI and chat GPT and, a lot of technologies which are coming up. But this training which is there, it also has certain challenges which is there, where, each state has their own requirement in terms of career opportunities. So these trainings are being developed in such a way where the schedule is being given, and according to the state, because every state will have their different festivals, they will have their requirements, they will have different career opportunities. So accordingly the teachers choose their trainings, and they select those trainings where they can do it. Certain subjects, yes, they have to go for physical training, but maximum subjects which are being covered, the bases which are being covered, they are covered online. So that's how that NEP has made, a blended model where 50 hours of training can be covered by each teacher, sitting in, doing a lot of research, utilizing their time for training and, building up resources.
Thank you, Archana ma'am. Really very well said. Over here, as you were talking, I came up with an idea where we can ask our teachers how we ask our 9th and 10th graders to make their portfolio. Why not we ask our teachers, like, let's be accountable of our 50 hours training and what exactly we have done. So this can become a dossier for them to look at towards the end of the year. Oh my God, I've done quite a lot.
Yes.
Thank you so much for.
Actually, after that, also, when they do that e-portfolio, a lot of things to be added in that. And at the end of the 50 hours training, you will find that yes, today, yes, I am a skillful teacher.
Skilled
I can
one.
stand in
Yes.
front of my 21st generation students.
Wonderful.
And I can teach. Yes, that's how it is.
So
Thank you.
so that I can see that happiness quotient on your face when we talk about 50 hours. Yes, I have achieved it. So calling our third speaker, Kavita ma'am from Smita Patil Public School, and the question is, what measures will be taken to ensure the quality and effectiveness of teacher training programs under NEP 2020? As NEP rightly says, there is a need of enthusiastic leaders, not only in terms of school principal, but we are looking at enthusiastic leaders of each and every class. So how are we doing that? Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, I thank you, ma'am. I totally agree with the points that were shared by Deepak sir and Archana ma'am regarding the teacher training. One point that shared by Deepak sir, that the decision capacity, Vijay sir, that is the decision making capacity of the teacher to decide the curriculum, to teach, what to teach. That decision making capacity will come, that leads to the accountability of the teacher. But the empowerment of the teacher is a major factor that is required to make them enabled to be a decision maker. And we have to see the two aspects of this teacher training. One is of the pre-service teacher training program, and other one is the in-service teacher training program. And as per the NEP that envisions about an integrated 4-year teacher education program to catch the meritorious students to the profession of the teaching as early as after completing their senior secondary, not like being in the teaching profession only by a chance, not by a choice, and later trying to be fit into the system. So better than that system, it is envisioning that they can get the proper training as early as possible for this integrated teacher training program. And whatever the emerging needs are there, almost in the teacher education program that covers that energy, that emerging needs, like Deepak sir what told, Vijay sir told about the teaching of the children with different abilities, then the usage of the under ICT in the teaching process, and above that one, the needs of teacher being a reflective educational practitioner. The present teacher education curriculum, it is covering all these aspects. Then our next question is coming regarding those who are in service. Many programs, the professional development programs are there. So this continuous professional development program inside the school and outside the school, it is required because the teacher training itself is a gradual procedure. We cannot expect the change in the professional qualities and the personal qualities of a teacher. All of a sudden, it is not possible. It will be in a gradual procedure. So there is possible, as the NEP is mentioning, along with this professional, continuous professional training program, one of the important aspects that we can see here is the process of mentoring. We can identify mentors who can support the teachers inside the school and from outside by creating a professional collaboration and groups. There we can identify what is the need of a specific school in a particular area, what sort of students are there, their basic needs, and for example, foundational literacy. In some school, there we need to work more on the foundational literacy. Some schools are there, the ICT skills are more with the students. There we can utilize that skill in the field of education. And identification of our need, internal need, is the first thing that is required, the professional need. As Kajal ma'am told about the experience of the individual schools regarding how we are leading this professional development, continuous professional development. So what I am doing in my school, I am doing a survey among all my teachers that what in area you feel that you need additional training. And they have to submit a reflective report also after their teaching. So that reflective practices, today what I have done, what was the outcome to be realized? So there, what difficulties that I have faced, to overcome that difficulties, what sort of training, in addition to that one, whatever I had during my professional practice and these many experiences, I have addition to that one, what is required. Then the next thing is identifying the resources. Some resources will be available within the school. Some resources will be available within the nearby schools. There we can collaborate with each other. And some programs that is being organized by the Hub of Learning and other organizations. Many private universities are also organizing different programs to help the teachers in the emerging areas. And like mom told us, the corona was something that is a blessing for us.
Blessing in disguise.
Yeah, now it is, the learning is the self-decided activity. If we want to professionally develop, there are lots of opportunities with the teacher, offline and online also. And there, the peer learning is the best opportunity within the school. Peer learning, mentor, and many experienced professional that resource persons will be there somewhere available in our area, and we can invite them as the visiting faculty to our institution. They can train the teachers in the aspect that is required, and we can collaborate with many of the organizations. They are really giving training in many aspects. For example, some ICT based training is required. Many organizations there, they are ready with the training programs available with them. Many universities they are running short term courses for training in the inclusive education program, pedagogical practices, innovative pedagogical practices. Many programs are available from the foreign universities also. But after getting the training program and getting a certificate, that is not necessary. Educating whatever our learning from the training programs with our peer group, having an interactive session with our peer, trying to implement and evaluating the problems that we are facing after the implementation, that is also a factor that is very much required. Now, the problem that we are identifying, the training programs are happening. We are participating in the training program. But to what extent we are sharing that learning with others, how we are assessing our learning process, and further training if it is required, to whom we are approaching to get the further training, these aspects that we lack. So in the coming years, we have to make a collaborative group in such a way that these loopholes in the training progress that must be covered. Even if it is mandatory to participate in the 50 hours of training program, we can do it if we think and if we facilitate the leaders as the principals, or the teachers are the leaders for the classroom, because they are leading. In front of them, 35 individuals are there. To handle these 30 or 35 individuals, they need the emerging skills are required. The way in which they were handling children before the pandemic.
Yes, ma'am. Now we'll come back to you when we have a second round. So thank you so much for bringing all the insight. Yes, peer share and having hub learning, that's a wonderful idea to ensure that whether this professional development is taking place or not. So with this, I request our fourth speaker, Mr. Riju sir, from New Vision Public School, to be ready. And his question is, are there any provisions in NEP 2020 to incentivize teachers to participate? It is a very tricky question, sir. How we can ensure and how we can encourage our teachers to participate in these professional development activities? And if you have some magic mantra, so we are really looking forward to check on what exactly you are doing in your space, sir. Over to Riju, sir.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you so much for NTAB Infotech Private Limited to giving me such an opportunity to present my views in front of this group. So when we speak about teachers, actually, I would say that teachers are the most deprived group with incentives. Like if we say like any other profession. Okay, because as a teacher, if we look into the government sector and all, as a teacher to get a promotion, it takes at least 20-25 years in service to go to the next level of their profession. Okay, so that always be a negative part for the incentive or the promotions or getting a better position in this profession. So maybe that is the reason why nowadays we are facing a lot of issue with getting the proper what we can say candidate as teachers when we go for an interview, when we conduct a walk-in interview, even when we collaborate with some of the like agencies. It is very difficult to get the proper candidate as a teacher in especially in the rural areas. So in cities it is not that much of an issue. So here what we can do is, like even in NEP also there are provisions given to incentivize teachers to make them interested, to come to this profession or stay in this profession. Nowadays, the teaching profession has become a midway between getting a better opportunity in some other place for the new candidates, whatever I've seen. So it should be changed, because as it is said that teachers teaching profession is the noblest one, which creates the all other professions, and the teachers are the mentors of the future of the world, we can say nowadays, because it is the time of globalization. So first thing I would like to say is to improve working condition for teachers. First of all, working condition in the sense like if we say that this employee satisfaction programs and all, or providing them with better technological support, or without professional development programs and all. And NEP says that in the coming years it will be implemented, like with funds and all those things will be provided to schools to improve their, at least to their infrastructure and all. So this is one thing, and the next one is recognitions, like incentives, with what we call like whether it may be monetary incentives or non-monetary. Like monetary incentives comes in every year when the increment part for the private sector, what we call. So but still in the rural areas, the pay scale for the teachers in the private sector is not that better compared to the government teachers. Okay, so that is one drawback for the teaching profession. And like if we take that non-monetary things like promotions, if we see, it is not based on merit of the teacher. It is based on the length of their professional career. See, the teacher who is like the senior most will get the promotion once there is a vacancy. And but it should be like in the uh, national professional standards of teachers says, like there will be a provision for the teachers to get promotions uh, in the section itself, not on the basis of their length of their professional career. It will be on merit basis. Like if we see that the national professional standards for teachers says that when it will be implemented, there will be four categories of teachers, just like the beginner teacher, those who get the pre-service training and step into the profession. And then there will be in-service trainings, and mentors will be there to groom them. And there will be some assessment. Once the teacher clears the assessment, and the teacher will be promoted to the next level, that is the proficient teacher, from beginner to proficient. And the
Wonderful point put forward, sir.
yeah, and then from proficient it will be expert teacher and lead teacher. That will be the same section itself. It is not like that the primary teacher will be promoted to the secondary level, and the secondary level teacher will be promoted to senior secondary, but it is in the same area where they are. If it is in the primary level only, from beginner to the lead teacher, that once it is being implemented, that will again give like uh, a
A
motivating
progressive
factor.
way of growing.
Yeah, yes, a motivating factor for the teacher to engage in this professional development programs and all. Okay, and then service environment must be improved for the teachers, so that they will have more enthusiastic to get trained for further development. Like whenever there is a change in the system, whenever there is a change in the technology, the teacher always should be at par with the changes what is happening in our society or in the level. So these are the things, like whether it is monetary, like increment. So usually what happens, the principal will have an assessment throughout the year, and the principal will submit the assessment criteria or assessment sheet to the management, and the management decides the increment and all those things. It is not just the increment, even the appreciation, like what we do is teacher awards inside our school only, so to recognize the best practices of the teachers. So that also becomes a thing, like the teacher should get motivated, and he or she will perform better in the coming days. So these are actually a few points, but there are a lot of things to discuss,
Yes.
and time is not
No,
that.
like
Thank you so
you
much.
you've brought a lot of justice to these 5 minutes, where the best part was giving the tags like beginner, progressive, proficient, advanced. So so that it brings awareness and it brings them close to GRR, that is gradual release of responsibility. So
Right.
ultimately they need to know what are they doing in the education fraternity. They are there to ensure quality, and that's what NEP talks about, to make our India global super knowledge
Right,
powerhouse.
it is.
So now I request Deepak sir, Deepak Matthew sir. Yes, sir. Good evening. So here is your question. How will NEP 2020 ensure that teachers are equipped with the necessary digital literacy skills to integrate technology in their teaching practices? As NEP talks about leveraging technology to the fullest, but at the same time bringing balance as well is important. Over to Deepak Matthew, sir.
Ma'am, very good evening, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this show, which is there, this discussion. My answer is very much connected to Sir, actually, because he said something that private school teachers are not paid properly.
Correct.
Now, when we talk about technology, now see, ma'am, actually, my school. I think I'm the only one from the Uttar Pradesh area, which is there sitting in this thing, and my school in the semi-urban area, which is there. Now, sitting in a semi-urban area, technology point is very. It's not. It's you have a lot of difficulty in that, and then the package problem. Now, when it's come to the package problem, same thing I'll connect that if you get the teachers are getting better salaries and all those. See, if you are using like.
So you have to unmute yourself. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay. If the teacher is using second generation and third generation phone or technology, something like it's very difficult to communicate with the thing which is there. See, training, I would suggest that the packages should be good and they should be given more better opportunity in technology and all those things. And then it's like in my school, if I see my school, I'm running a lot of programs for digital. I had a computer lab where I had only 4 computers. Now I have got 45 computers actually.
Wonderful.
And I'm using VJ cable and all those things, putting a television screen and all. So I'm using a different way of doing the digital teaching actually. It changed a lot actually. Then we are in collaboration with Geo Imbibe and semi-urban area. It's very difficult to get in collaboration with all these kind of things, which is there. But what is I'm doing it that all those teachers who like we pursue the teachers to do it better. But GeoMBibe gives them a certificate every month for as per their proficiency, what how much participation they are doing. Beside that, I am personally also giving a letter of appreciation from my side so that they are doing it. We have an expert from like I've appointed 1 or 2 teachers actually, and I should suggest everybody so that who are training the teachers, especially on this level, which is how to use technology. Because uh, see, Corona, everybody talks about Corona, but it is a blessing in disguise actually, because it has taught us lot many things actually. Digital infrastructure is a very important thing. If you don't have a proper digital infrastructure, then I don't think the integrate technology into the teaching profession will not be possible actually, which the management has to understand. and which as a principal we have to also tell the management that what is the importance of that which is there. Then rewarding teachers, I would say it's a very important thing. Then collaboration awareness actually, because there are a lot of government schools, there are private schools which are there, then there are private, then there are educational institutions actually. Now all these three things, if you see, they are doing something, 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 and we have to collaborate together actually. We have to find out what is happening. It's not that what we are doing is more than enough actually. No, we have to find out what is happening there. If there's something good, then we have to immediately take it, and then we have to move ahead with that which is there. Then I feel high quality materials can help teachers understand better, because see, if you see all the books, there are scanners given, but I don't think teachers use that. In all the books, if we see, there are scanners given for question papers, for like reference books and all those things, study materials and all. We don't use that. Nobody uses that thing because they feel wastage of time actually. But that is not wastage of time actually. How to use it in the curriculum, how to use it for the betterment of the teacher, but students actually, that we as a head of the school, we have to make them understand, and we have to train the teachers. I normally do the training session with the teacher in my school, which is there, so that they are trained with the digital awareness also, not with the other thing. Training sessions are CBSE is doing that thing. NEP, according to NEP, their teachers are doing it. But as the school, in the school, how much we are getting it implementing, that though we have to do. If we are not going to take it seriously, then there's no point in talking all these things, because it's only words, but the words have to be put into the actions. So I think because everybody is saying the same thing, and some of the things have been already spoken, so I don't think to elaborate so much on that thing which is there, because I strictly feel that just we have to imbibe everything which is there.
No,
We have to
Deepak sir, in
that
fact, we're very proud of you.
that
What you
we
are
have
doing in your space is wonderful.
that's all
And
for my
I
side.
love the point what you said. Let's have above learning within our school and ensure quality over there. So wonderful. So yes, now over to Prashant sir. Prashant sir, question for you is what strategies will be employed to assess the impact and effectiveness of teacher training programs implemented under NEP 2020? As we all know, being a teacher, it's all about strategy and how we are framing it. So over to Prashant sir.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Good evening, Intap and all panelists members. We'll discuss about the assessing the impacts and effectiveness of teachers training program implemented under NEP 2020 is really essential for continuous improvement. And for this continuous improvement, we need some strategies that may be employed. Few parameters, few strategies are there. We'll go through one by one. Performance metrics. What exactly the performance metrics? How we can observe the teachers? Are there measurable performance metrics? For example, such as improved student outcomes and teachers retention rate. That is the most important, teacher retention rate. As we are working in the rural area, good faculty, getting a good teacher is very difficult. To groom them, we need a lot of practices. We have to work very hard, principal especially. We have to work very hard over the teacher. But after that, what is the retention rate? Very for few, I can't say, but very for few amount also, teacher will, every year they will jump. So that to be maintained, teachers retention rates and classroom observations versus the program effectiveness. Continuous classroom observations is required by the authorities, by the head of the institutions, and we can come to know about the performance matrices, such as quality of work, quantity of work, efficiency of teacher, productivity of the teacher. That all things we need. Second, we can say pre and post assessment to conduct assessment of the teacher's knowledge, skill, and attitude. Attitude in the sense behavioral change before and after the training to gauge growth and learning out. I observed there is a lot of change in their body language, way of behaving before and after the training. Once they get the train, they learn something, some strategies they learn, their critical thinking, logical thinking is definitely changed. Their body language is also changed. So that pre and post assessment, we have to continuously do it. Longitudinal studies. Your longitudinal studies means implementation of long-term studies to track the progress of teachers and students over time, providing insight into the lasting impact of training program. Long term, it's not a short term goal to assess the teacher repeatedly 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. It's a very long term process. With the help, with only the 1 year assessment, we cannot gauge the teacher, assess the teacher as a sort for appraisal. Long term goal is important. Long term longitudinal studies to be observed for this. Feedback mechanism. Establish the feedback loops where teachers provide input on the training relevance, quality, and applicability to the teaching practices. After training, getting 50 hours in a year, more than sometimes 50 hours will be there. Some are physical trainings, some are online training they are getting. But what they learn, they have to what they came to know in today's workshop. They should provide input on their training relevance, the quality of training, what they got it, and how to apply this applicability to their teaching practices. Today I learned something, but I can implement, how I can apply in the classroom. So that is also most important. And the type of training what we receive, is it a quality training? It is useful for us. What we learn from that will also most important. That's why after every training, we should get the feedback, proper feedback from the teachers. That from that feedback, the next strategy we can decide where to send the teacher, what type of program teacher should attain to gain and the knowledge. Peer review and observation. They use peer review and classroom observation to assess how teachers apply the training content in their teaching method and classroom management. Peer review, those friends are there, those the subject teachers are working with them. Their review is most important. Their observation, classroom observation, to assess how the teachers is implementing teaching methods, whatever they learn through the workshop, whatever they learn through the programs under NEP. That is also the important factor. But before classroom observation, just we have to motivate the children. Suddenly we attend the classes for observation. Sometimes they will get nervous. That is also continuous peer review and continuous observations is essential. How they are implementing the in the classrooms. Survey and interviews. You have to conduct the survey and the interviews with the teachers, even interviews with the student, even with the school administrator to gather the qualitative data on the perceived impact of the training. The students definitely they will give the feedback, proper feedback, how the teacher is implementing the strategies in the classroom. Standardized testing. That's also one of the strategy. Analyze the standardized test score to determine if there is a correlation between the training and improved student. The training getting the teacher, they are implementing in the classroom. But with that, we have to check, is there any improvement in the student? That analysis, student analysis, improves student performance, but correlated with the teacher's training and their implementation in the class. What they learn, are they implementing? And is it beneficial to the student? So we can analyze and we can improve the student performance with the help of this standardized testing method. Co-benefits analysis is one of the strategy. Evaluate the cost effectiveness of the training program by comparing the resources invested with the outcomes achieved. Evaluate the cost effectiveness at the 50 hours per year. We have to go through different types of paid and some are unpaid training for the teachers. So that also one of the factor. Alignment with NEP goals. Ensure that training program, whatever we are getting, that should align with the specific goals and objective outlined in the NEP 2020, and access whether they contribute to achieving this goal or not. That is also important. We are taking the training, is it aligned with the specific goals and objective mentioned in the NEP, or something training taking many types of trainings are there, online there, offline there. Sometimes they are not useful in the classroom activities also. So we have to observe all this. Is it alignment? Is it matching to the required goal of NEP? So which is useful for the teacher to implement in the classroom. External evaluation.
Prashant sir, we will come back to you. As thank you so much, and those were some great insights. We loved what you shared, like feedback mechanism, peer review, and how we can ensure ultimately this is done to ensure that how our teachers are ready to cater to 21st century children. Yes, thank you so much. And now I'm coming to Dr. Manisha, and Manisha ma'am is from Delhi World Public School, Zirakpur. So the question for you, ma'am, is how will NEP 2020 address the challenge of providing ongoing support and mentorship to newly recruited teachers? As we know for the fact, if a new technology is taught to the existing staff, if they leave us, it's as good as like we don't even use technology, but we live, we breathe, we are with it. So how we ensure that it is passed to the new staff which is there with us? Over to Manisha ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Kajal ma'am and NTAB for drawing attention to this fabulous inclusion in NEP 2020, the mentorship program. This mentorship program, I don't know if you've all gone through it. It's a beautiful plan that they have conceptualized, the aim of which is to create Vishwa Gurus. So many years back, I'd like to just share a little incident with you. Around 8 years back, I was invited by a B.Ed college to address a group of students who were outgoing, and they had a lot of questions about the practicalities of going into the teaching profession. So it was a transition period for them. They were leaving their learner hats on the table, and they were going to become freshly recruited teachers. And when I addressed that gathering, I got to know about so many apprehensions that this young lot had, and they had nobody to handhold them or guide them through the process. So this entire plan that NEP 2020 has included in their plan for the new education policy, it is a fabulous thing because they have made room for each and every process. This plan is not just a comprehensive compliance driven plan, it is also problem driven, it is also people driven. So it makes sure that all of the processes that are required for a newly appointed teacher to ease the process into a proper professional setting, that is completely taken care of. So what they are suggesting is that every new teacher goes into an induction program. This induction program is a 1-year program in which they are given an experienced mentor to handhold them through the entire year. We have this extremely valuable resource of senior teachers who are trained, but they are retired. And we are not using this resource very well. So to get this entire resource back into practice, to hold these new teachers' hands and to be a valuable information provider or what you call a thought partner, or just to have them develop their skills, because every classroom is different, every environment is different, every person is different. So a lot of self-reflection is required in the teaching profession. If you do not know yourself, you cannot know your students. So a lot of these processes are developed so that there is consistent feedback which is given to these young teachers who are coming in. So this plan, it details a 3-phase program. The 3-phase program is that you have the young teacher come in. This young teacher is allowed to shadow an experienced teacher. After shadowing an experienced teacher, they are allowed to teach in their own methodology in the presence of the mentor teacher. This mentor teacher will then give them constructive feedback. This feedback will be incorporated into the teaching method, and then they will be evaluated post the feedback. So this entire process has been detailed week by week, month by month into the plan, so that it gives them an additional support and creates this environment where they are not fatigued by all the decision making. I think one of you mentioned that there are a lot of decisions that need to be taken on a daily basis, and sometimes those decisions are not
Correct.
taken from the space of total impartiality. A lot depends on your mood at the time that you're taking that decision. So an experienced teacher will help you to look at the decision from a third person perspective, by adding value to where are you going, where are you going with this decision, what is your thought process behind it, why did you think that you have to act the way that you have acted or respond the way that you're responding. So a lot of these questions and a lot of this plan depends on the synergy between the mentor and the mentee. So if you do not have a good partnership between the mentor and a mentee, you will not be able to have an effective program. But I feel that any kind of an addition to the system is very valuable, because like Kajal ma'am just said, there is so much technology that is happening, right? And sometimes we don't know. The newer teachers are experienced with it, the older ones may not be experienced with it. But they have these tools and technologies that they used to rely on when we did not have technology. So what is that? What is it that the new teachers can learn from these older teachers? And what is it that the older teachers can impart which is not there in the books, which is there from their experience that they will be leading them? So I feel that this entire process that NEP 2020 has outlined is a beautiful thing if it is implemented with fidelity. The question here now comes that the system that has been created is completely awesome, it is infallible, but then people who are running it, they are not infallible. They are individuals with their own thought process, with their own minds. And that is where the strategic importance of this program lies. It is about joining the mentor to the mentee that they are suited for. Because it is not just about professional development, it is also about personal development. And that will only happen when the mentors have that bandwidth that they can support the mentee through all of the challenges. So this is what we need to look at when we are joining people together, when we are, at teaching, as you all know, it's a collaborative process. Nothing happens on one individual level. It happens as a team, and we grow as a team. We work as a team, and all of that happens only through relationships. And that relationship building is what lies at the root of a good mentor-mentee program. If we have a good synergy, we'll have a good program. So I think that is my take on this particular program.
So thank you, Manisha ma'am, taking some brilliant points from you. And the system is awesome, and so you are. And
Thank you.
wonderful points. Yes, mentorship program is something really great, and I can see that bright, big smile on your face. And it is happening in your system. This reminds me of that buddy system, and even mother toddler sort of.
Absolutely,
We have
absolutely.
in our school. So wonderful points coming in from you, and this makes way for a question which is very much related to Manisha ma'am's question, that how NEP 2020 will incorporate, and this question is for Karuna ma'am, how it will incorporate feedback and suggestions from experienced educators, which ma'am was talking about. How are we using such resources and their suggestions and their valuable insights, how we'll take them into consideration to design and improve teacher training programs, as it has to be very, very dynamic, which was posed by Dr. Vijay right in the beginning. So over to Karuna ma'am. Karuna ma'am, you have to unmute, ma'am. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're very much audible.
I'm sorry for joining late. And
That's okay,
yes,
ma'am.
I heard ma'am, she has given a very beautiful insight. And I feel that feedback is very important. And from the experts, if it is coming, it gives us a lot of insight that how we can work on the development of the teachers. And we can also suggest them how we can improve on the areas where we need induction for the teachers, where we want that teacher should be specifically trained for the upcoming generation for the skill development. There are so many things that has been introduced in the school system recently, and we as principals are also updating ourselves, and we want equally our teachers to be equipped with all the latest trends, 21st century skills. So definitely the feedback from the leaders, it gives a lot of insight and suggestions to uh, the policy makers, so that the development can take place in the stream it is required and in the way the development of the student is expected.
So yes, thank you so much, Karuna ma'am. That was very crisp and precise. That yes, their suggestions are equally valuable, and it helps the existing school leader to incorporate and do the necessary changes. And my next question is for Biju sir. Sir, are there any plans to collaborate with renowned education institutions or organizations for designing and delivering teacher training programs under NEP 2020? So over to Biju sir. So you have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute your device, sir. You have to unmute. Biju sir, you're not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Thank you. Uh, about teachers training programs, whether NEP, as per NEP, whether we are collaborating with reputed institutions. That is a question which I got. And whatever I plan to share in this meet, almost all principals discuss here. Yeah, all over. But let me say, the right place for training for our teachers is our school itself. The principals, especially the principals, they have a great role, and I think most of the principals who are sitting here, they did not become principal directly. They might be teachers earlier, so they know what a teacher should be and how a teacher should act. So it is up to the principal to make sure whether the teachers of that particular school is performing in a proper way or not. So the most important thing now that most all the teachers must be digitally completely aware of the digital modern technologies. Without that, there is no other way. There is no other way for the teachers. And let me say that the principal has a great role for that. In the year 1998, I was working as a teacher in Bihar, one place called Begusarai, and I worked there 6 years as teacher, and we did not get any training that time. From the either from the school side or from the board side, that time there was no training program, nothing was there. And after 6 years of work there in Begusarai, what I learned, I should not be, if I become a principal in my life, I should not be a principal like this person, the person in the school. So why I told this? The teachers should consider the principal as a family member. For that, the principal has a great role to play in the school. So we are sending now for the capacity building programs. So as per the national education policy, now National Council for Teacher Education and then open schooling. So with collaboration with all these things, we are having a lot of training programs for the teachers. So what I do in my school, these teachers, when they go for the training programs, maybe one day program or capacity building programs, when they come back, we conduct one meeting there in the school, and that meeting will be led by the particular teacher who went for the training. They will be sharing their the ideas, whatever they got there. These ideas they share there. And the second thing what we used to do, as we were the lead collaborator in the hub of learning, we used it to share our teachers across different schools. So in this one, what happened, ma'am? Some years before, some of the teachers of other schools who came to my school for teaching, they came to me after the end of the session. They told that, sir, we want to work in your school. Means the teachers are trying to escape from there. From the particular school, they want to. So this sharing is also a difficult task. When you share your teacher with some other schools, if the infrastructure and some other things of that school is better than your school, these teachers may escape from there. So better orientation programs, better motivation classes must be given to these teachers other than the training programs which are scheduled by the CBSE. You know very well, Sahodaya. Sahodaya is playing a great role for this. Sahodayas are conducting so many capacity building programs with the help of resource persons. So such things are happening. And other than that, we have city coordinators. City coordinators also have a great role for improving the abilities of teachers. See, nowadays, if you ask to a child what you want to become in your life, nobody says that I want to become a teacher. Very rarely. What is the reason for that? We should find out what is the reason for that. The main reason, earlier one of the principals discussed that now in private schools, teachers are given more work and less paid. We have to note that. In many of them, ma'am, I'm not talking about the teachers who are working in metropolitan cities. There are CBSE schools in various remote areas. Their work is same, but paid is less. Their payment is less. So these things we have to take note of. And let me say that teachers, if they are motivated by the principal of the school, definitely the teachers will perform well. And they should get a friendly atmosphere in the school. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Biju sir. And yes, as you rightly said, that Sahodaya city coordinators they all are playing their role well. And I must recommend NTAP for this particular question. NTAP can ensure that you coordinate with an educational institute and you can have knowledge exchange program. And now I request Deepak Jha sir, and we have a spotlight for him for his question. What resources and funding mechanism are in place to support the implementation of effective teacher training initiative mandated by NEP 2020? So, as this document has revolutionized the space and lot of efforts are being taken to empower our teachers. So over to you, Deepak sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, all of you, to be a part of this session. And I hope I'm audible.
You're very much audible, sir.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am, for just alert me. Actually, ma'am, what questions you ask related to the NEP, the fund and management and mechanisms, I would like to be just enlighten your ideas or enlight of ideas towards basic what's our need. In fact, whenever we are going for the training session, actually these training sessions, what I observed during, I heard very keenly and very sharply each and every teachers or our principals who are with us. So I think that lots of points is there. Most of the points is covered, whatever the things is required for the best teacher. Actually, we are finding here to run a school with the best teacher. And I know best teacher is not very easy task. Just ma'am, I am very impressive and highly impressive with the Madam Manisha, Dr. Manisha ma'am told. We should focus and we should ask the persons who have retired.
Nice.
That one is the very best things. And don't go for the actually fund is not here the money related. Fund is here for relate to the education. From
Right.
where we are getting exactly education. And that education must be inculcated in downward. Because the principle on the head and in upper top to the bottom, the whatever the bottom persons of the role is very important because principal can instruct them, guide them, but not he can execute on a ground. So that fund, that educations and that mechanisms, how the things it will go downward, because downward person are executors, and executors are required this such type of the idea. Principal is the planner, principal is the guider, principal have such a vision, so that implement in the ground, and that things should be reflect. That's why NAP has a lot of resources and lot of mechanism, teachers training, mentor systems, finding the different type of the survey, calling the
Correct.
discussing a lot of the things, as well as mentor. I'm talking about the mentor. Mentor, it doesn't means you go for the asking the people come and guide the my students. You should make your mentor among the teachers. Why you are calling from there? In my schools, I am doing. My all teachers are a mentor for my all students, and they have got 4 and 5 students as a mentor, and they are taking regular basis, weekly basis meetings and conducting the different resources of the programs, training program, and I'm not worried about that. I'm very relaxed because they are doing and they are giving the feedback, because I am taking regular basis all feedback. I'm a digitally literacy. I'm already updated with the army soldiers. I'm a trained officers. So I know that civilian as well as defense, both of the educations I got, as well as Sanic school pattern, as well as the residentials, or you can say the other resources. I saw lots of the things in my career. So I think that with me, I'm very lucky. A 68 years old man with me, though I have a guiding me what principle has to be, how the principle should work. That's why I'm appreciating Madam Manisha. Say, ask the people who have retired and take the ideas from there. That is good things. And that's why our institution is very smoothly running. Here, no any such discriminations about the teachers. They are not getting pay much. They are very less, and like that. No, nothing at all. Because of your subordinate and top order would be very highly unimpressive, you will never face these challenges. And
So wonderful, Deepak sir. Over here, I have to say one quote. I'm quoting one quote, what you are talking about, that education is something that no one can take it away from you. So let's use education and use it and encash it. So you've covered it all. Thank you
yes,
so much,
ma'am.
Deepak
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And now I have Anurag sir. Anurag sir, coming towards the end, there is a lot of advantage. You can use it as a trump card. Okay. And before asking you a question, I want everyone's attention. I'm drawing everyone's attention towards the word technology. In the document itself, the technology word is given for how many times? It's given for 40 times. It's for 40 times this word technology is written. So, how can technology be integrated into teacher training programs to ensure learning and skill development? So, over to Anurag, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this opportunity at last for answering this wonderful question, which I believe has already been answered by all the educators itself. But what I'll do is I'll sum up their answers basis the various questions that were asked all throughout, and I will also highlight on how can technology be integrated on um, encompassing all the points which have been answered by all the educators. So at first, Archana ma'am spoke about the 50 hours training that became a problem. Now, how can that problem be solved? Because if we have to train our educators through platforms like COE and all, we'll have to take the educators out of the school and put them somewhere else. Now, technology serves as a solution. Like uh, through technology, you don't necessarily need to do that. Dr. Kavita talked about the in-service training programs. Technology can be a boom here as well. Right. And she also spoke about collaborations with various agencies. Now, collaboration may not always be a process that can happen. There may not be a lot of agencies available in your nearby areas. So you would need technology for such kind of collaborations to happen. The platforms like Google Groups or Microsoft Teams and all. They are all technology-based platforms, and a lot of learning can happen through those platforms. Renju sir talks about incentives or a better technical support. So now technology plays a major role in here also, because if you have to decide or distribute an incentive, it is the technology that can be a best method of doing such a thing. Now, for taking a for taking a mentee from a beginner level to a lead teacher level, again technology may play a better role, because data analytics can help you identify like how effective is your training program, and basis that you can take your decisions and improve your training programs further. Then we had Deepak sir, who gave us an example that Geo Imbibe gives us certificates on how to use technology. So now this is giving incentive for use of technology through technology. So that's again a way that lets us think that how technology is being used in training the teachers. Now, Prashant sir talk about performance metrics. Now, how can we make a performance metrics without actually using technology? So we need certain technological tools to create a performance metric, and also to keep it running effectively and efficiently in our systems. Classrooms observations. Now, classroom observation, when we talk about physical classroom observations, all of us as principals have realized that when we are physically present, that either we are positively or negatively impacting the outcome of the classroom that we are observing. But here again, technology serves as a tool where you can actually, without impacting the outcome of the class, observe the class as it is, and thereby get to the root cause of what is happening, how it is happening, right? Similarly, Prashant sir talk about setting and assessing long-term goals. Now, it is easy to set long-term goals, but to keep tracking them and to keep your action pointers under check, you need technology. Feedback mechanism for that matter. Now, if you have to set a feedback mechanism, you would need technology for that. Continuous peer reviews, surveys and interviews, analyzing cost effectiveness of your training programs. He spoke of all those. I think he was answering on my behalf. Then Dr. Manisha talked about a wonderful mentorship program, and she said that there can be an induction program by senior teachers. But here, the technology again can play a major role in connecting a relevant mentee and mentor, because you'll have to do some kind of analysis as to what is required for a certain teacher, and to be able to analyze that, you would need certain technological platforms to assess, right? And similarly, you would have a pool of senior teachers where you would be having level of expertise marked or mapped to their names, but to then put them into a same platform and align them, again technology plays a major role. Now, Karuna ma'am spoke about incorporating mentors' feedback into teacher training programs. Now, all mentors may not be necessarily available at your workplace or nearby your workplace. The senior teachers may have moved to their various places. Now, technology again gives you that kind of leverage that you can use their expertise even if they are not available. Now, Biju sir spoke about right place to train is a school and right person to train is principal, but principal's time is not always available. Therefore, for a principal to reach out to various stakeholders, technology plays a role. Now, I had a lot of things in mind, but when I saw that all of the educators have spoken so wonderfully, I thought of compiling their answers and giving this as my answer. So, teacher learning, the other input that I have in mind is that the teacher's learning can be individualized with the help of technology, like how we nowadays focuses on each learner's need. By the technology helps in identifying the learning gap when it comes to the students. And same thing can happen with the teacher also. We can take care of the individual needs of a teacher with the help of a technology. I'll end my submission here, ma'am. Wonderful answers already given by all the educators. I tried to sum them up because I believe that the question that was asked was intentionally kept in at the last, so that it sums up all the answers. Thank you very much for the question.
Thank you, Anurag sir. You have summed it up very beautifully. And over here, I'm just bringing a very small information for all our leaders. If you take again, you open the document NEP 2020. Just look at chapter number 5, page number 20. That is page 20 to 23. It's all about teachers. There are beautiful, ways for us as educators to celebrate. Just read and get more information that by 2030 we are getting ready. And of course, NTAB is helping in that. And thank you so much. One more thing to celebrate, that all the speakers, nobody has left the Zoom room. That's one thing which we can celebrate together by clapping, virtual claps. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
NTAP, for providing this platform for leaders to come, collaborate, share, care, and celebrate. Beda ma'am, you wish to add something over it? Or shall we end the session?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Thank you, everyone, for providing us the opportunity to speak up our views. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
To everyone, thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
You
much.
too, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am, and thank you so much, Kajal ma'am, for taking out
Thank
your
you.
time.
It was
And
my
thank you so
pleasure.
much, everyone.
Thanks,
Have a
NTAP.
great day, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.